Hey, it's Daddy Steve, and this game that you're looking at right now is called Rise of Civilizations. It's actually the number 6 top grossing game on Android. And I really enjoy playing it. I really enjoy playing it to the point where I thought, you know what, I'm going to do a video on this. This is my first attempt account. And you know me, I'm going to do a playthrough account at some point, but I just wanted to get you guys up to speed with this game. This game, over 5 million downloads of this game. It's good. It's good. I'm just trying to think about whether it's similar to... If you look at it and you think about HQ, resources, war buildings and technology, it's very, and walls and things like that, very similar to the other games, but I'm going to be honest with you, I hated the other games. But I really enjoyed this one. I think they refined the mechanics of the system, and it's just an interesting game. I really enjoy it. So therefore, I'll maybe saying the bit at the end, at the beginning, I do actually enjoy playing it. It's my new favourite game. So I'm just going to give you guys a very quick, hopefully under 10-minute or approximately 10-minute overview of how to play this game if you're getting started. Bearing in mind, I will be doing a playthrough from scratch video, and maybe you guys want to join me on that journey. Who knows? Who knows? One of the things I have to say from the get-go, though, is when I started this, I knew enough to know that I had to join an alliance. You have to join an alliance if you want to progress at a reasonable pace and be protected and get like the kind of general guidance of more experienced players, and that's exactly what happened in this alliance. I should have turned off the sound effects. I will know that for next time. They're called the Dark Wolves. Anybody who knows me, knows my videos, my guilds, or their guild's called the Dark Rebels. So I had to join the Dark Wolves. You know what I mean? That name's got nothing to do with me. And hello to Mellow86. Cool. Anyway, so one of the first things I want to talk about, join an alliance. You get lots of free resources, lots of advice, and you get some protection. That's step number uno. The next thing to do was resources. In every other game of this type, these internal resources, the corn you see, and the stone, and the wood, and there's gold there as well. I got through those games very easily just by maximising, making sure that every one of these food things is on the stone and the wood and the coins, making sure that they're all optimised. But not in this game. The resources that you get internally are kind of minuscule. So you're going to need very quick. I'm at the stage now I need to upgrade my base I need more or less 1 million of every resource. But these kind of farms in stone give me like 77. Forget it, right? So what you do is you focus on upgrading one of those resources as high as it can go, more or less. But more generally, I'll just say, just focus on the city hall and getting that to its higher level. And if that says you need a quarry at its highest level, then you do it. Only when it's required. And only one of them. You don't have to do all of them. If you're doing all of them, then you're wasting resources. What's the point in generating 77 resources an hour when you need 1 million? There is some point, but it's a waste of time. Especially early on when you've only got one build queue, so that's that. Other than that, I'm going to click on this bottom left map. There's somebody within my alliance. He's going off to do something, probably to kill some Bob. Oh, he's coming back from something. There are barbarians around the map, you know, just random kind of game drones that you can kill, and obviously you get resources and items and things like that, so that's that. In terms of getting resources like farm in general, though, what you want to do, these are the barbarians here with the 7, that's a level 7 barbarian. Surprise, surprise, that's a level 8 barbarian top left, and a level 13 barbarian, etc. This thing here, it's just a random, you send off these, you know when any game where the map is clouded, and you need to reveal that map, you send off a spy, it's called in this game, and it goes off and reveals the map, and then you know you can see it without it having to be revealed again, that type of thing. Anyhow, right, I'm going to do this a quicker way. Oh, there it is. Right, this here is a logging camp. That, you send off your soldiers to the logging camp, Nobody owns it. You see, gather a non. Nobody's currently gathering. Own a non. Nobody's currently owns it, meaning no alliance has kind of claimed it. You send off your soldiers. They gather resources kind of slowly, or whatever pace they do, and then they bring it back to your camp, and then you have that resource. That's how you farm resources. How you farm gems in general. If I move on to gems. Just by being active in the game. That's a summary. If I click on this thing below my head in the top left, yeah, as soon as I get my HQ to level 14, I will get 1,100 gems. That will be very useful. But in terms of just general upgrading, every so often it will reward you with gems. In battling the barbarian, again, it will reward you with gems. Same with these side quests. If I do 100, aka enough of these side quests, gives me another 100 gems, that type of thing. Obviously, same with all games of this type, there's also like a possibility to redeem a code. You input it here, guess what, some of the time it's going to be gems. I will come back to this, but this is meant to be a very quick overview and I don't really want to get bogged down. Alright, so the limit that you can upgrade your buildings, because that's what I'm moving on to next, will be set by the base camp, the HQ, the city hall, whatever you want to call it. All those words mean the same thing for me. So that's where you focus on that. Don't, as I said, willy-nilly upgrade everything here and then slowly upgrade everything to the same level. You can do that, but you're just wasting resources, you're wasting time, and by the time you've got to a very, very low level doing that, I'm going to be at level 13 and I'm going to be smashing you out of the game probably. Sorry, that's the game it is. It's an attacky game. So sue me. So that's that. Another thing, and I'll work around these buildings very quickly, just giving you an overview of what the purpose is. Hospital, you send off your troops to go into battles, or occasionally, you will be attacked, and then you need to heal, strangely enough. Siege Workshop is a type of soldier which will help you attack other cities, I believe. I have never done it yet in this game, but I believe that will be useful. Archery range is bow and arrow type dudes. That's going to be swordsmen at the barracks, and stable is going to be your cavalry, different types of warriors, different types of soldiers. There are also different types of commanders or heroes, however you want to call it. I'll just click on them quickly just to go through it. Right, it's a quick generalization, but it's a very quick video. If you click on the first skill, it'll probably show you where you're going to go with this particular hero. It does direct damage and it disables the enemy's normal attacks and active skills for 1 second. But that's only when you reach the rage requirement of 1000. In terms of how quickly you get to 1000 depends on a lot of things. If I click on skills, for example, if I click on talents, one of these talents is where I gain rage from a normal attack. So it depends on all those things. Eventually you get to 1000 quicker, hopefully, than later, and then that will trigger and that skill activate. And in terms of that skill activating, you want to think about, is that skill effective relative to other commanders? Alright, so he does 500 direct damage and silence for 1 second. If I click on the next hero, so that's going to say Marcel boy. He does direct damage. The first guy did 500 damage. The maximum this guy's going to do is 450, but then again this one targets three of them, and the first dude only targets one. You know what I mean? So if you're surrounded, then you can only attack one of those at a time, and whilst they're both kicking your ass. There it goes. The main hero that I'm yeah, that's what they always talk when you click on them anyway. This is my new boy. He does 600 damage, but only to the target. This 600 is more than the 500, but it also decreases their attack by 20%. Kind of like cripple in deck heroes, and reduces, and the march speed reduction. I don't know if that means it's that you go quicker or they go slower. I'm guessing it's that they go slower. Either way, it's kind of like a disabling effect on them. And also there's other support. I'm still working this out. I've only been playing this game for like 10 days. So I'm still working it out myself, but you
fight
get...
for my lost freedom and my outraged daughters.
I don't blame you. There's other support kind of commanders. This one also does direct damage, attack reduction, but also reduces their rage.
We must conquer or die!
Damn right. Alright, I'm going to just read you that, the passive skill. Alright, so no, troops' normal attacks have a chance to increase the damage dealt to enemy as follows. 5% chance to increase damage dealt by 10%, 3%, 20%, 2%, 30%. So that's that. There's another skill.
My enemies will choke on their own blood.
Damn right they will. There's something we do heal. Yeah, there's another one. It kind of heals you. You know, staying alive is kind of useful in the game, believe it or not. That's that type of thing. No, not you, not you, not you. No, you. One of the top guys in this alliance, he's into Caesar. Attack bonus, damage bonus. Just reading what it's got. Damage reduced. Okay. So they can defense. Their defense reduction seem like similar to your attack goes up, right? Troop capacity goes up. Anyway, things to consider. I'll do another video that focuses on the commanders, but this is just an overview. So let's click on castle. This is if you kind of rallying against an enemy, or you're rallying against one of the they call it the barbarians, like the drones within the game, then you're probably going to need a bigger army than what you have yourself. So that's why you need an alliance, and you all come together to fight or defend. If you go, it's probably going to be fighting. So you need to have this in order to rally the castle at a certain level, to rally people together big enough to fight. The tavern, you get like free stuff. It's kind of like a resource generator in itself as well for the important elements of the game. It says silver chest, that might as well as be bronze. It's just the common items, and gold chest is the rarer items which you get less often. That's that. Explore. I talked a little bit about spies earlier, just removing the mist so you can actually see the map, or unclouding the map, however you want to put it. You get 2 scouts, and whenever you can be bothered, explore, you send them off. Yes, he's on his way. I did miss a few items at the top. I'm just collecting resources. Shop. If I click on the V in the middle, the shop is based on your VIP level. Remember when I said at the start I spent all my gems and get my VIP level up to level 6? It's level 6, so I get 2 builder queues going at the same time, which obviously doubles the speed that I can advance in the game. But these kind of things, when you see like 50% off, the basic action point recovery, it's like the energy for the game. You know what I mean? So you recover some of that every second, but there will be also times where you just feel like playing, you've got the spare time, and you need this basically to keep it topped up. 5-minute speed up just means you can speed up whatever, whether it's a building, depending on the type of item, it may be like technology, or whatever you want to speed up. So you can spend gems on that, but I always spend just resources, the things which are farmable. And there's different ranges of things you can do, and it resets. If you look to the top leftish where it says refresh in 1 day 14 hours, so it's going to refresh in that time, and they can buy new things. How's about that? Very useful. Very similar is the courier station. This lady comes back every so often. You can buy other items at discount. So obviously you do that, and also you don't want to be raided. You don't want somebody else to attack you and take your resources. So it's better to convert your resources into items, and you kind of do it in places like this and the shop which I showed you a minute ago. Trading post, another way you can, between you and other members of the alliance, you can exchange resources for whatever you need. This is bulletin board where the developers just tell you what's going on in the game. Monument is when the developers have set you milestones, but not just you, like everybody playing in the game within this kind of server, within this map, whatever you want to call it. And together, collectively, if we are active, then we get these resources here: 500 gems or 3 gold keys, and that as well. Okay, cool. Storehouse. This is if you are going to get raided, the minimum amount of resources which won't be raided, which in here you can see 700,000 food and wood and slightly less stone and less gold and Builder's hut. Yeah, it just shows you got 2 build queues. You've got the option to speed it up without having to try and quickly see what you're kind of currently trying to evolve or upgrade. You know what I mean? You go straight to it by clicking on that building. Just collecting those, and that's it. The other thing to do, I think, is to make sure that your army is as big as possible. So just busy trying to upgrade these stables, only level 10. I do want it as high as possible so that every time I produce, this would be cavalry, then I get highest numbers as possible, because believe it or not, you're obviously going to need it. And the commander level is constrained, constrain the amount of troops that you can send off into battle. This one's got 48,000, sorry. Trying to talk quickly, and that's set by the level. So if you look just below the stars, it says level 22 of 30. If this went up to 23, I believe the troop capacity would go up by 500 and etc. So if you've got more troops, obviously you're going to be hitting harder. And yeah, and that level also determines how many stars you've got. The number of stars reveals or activates these skills below. So that's very useful. I'm trying to think what other urgent things I need to tell you in the video. Oh, the wall. That's kind of like your perimeter defense. Obviously, the higher the wall, the harder it is for people to attack you, the more you can resist. And I believe the watchtower is how many soldiers you can pack into the wall to fight the soldiers that are waiting and trying to attack you on the outside. Just giving you an example what's found by the spies. Okay, 50 more soldiers. Is that horsemen? What else do we find? Building speed up, we'll take that. I really do enjoy the game. I don't know if I mentioned it at the start, but the beginning is quite, you got to keep pace because all the builder queues are quite small, and you just want to get stronger quicker so you can get stuck into the game, and you can go around attacking people. Well, not people, because since I started it, you can't attack other people as such right now because the alliance is still quite new and we don't want to start off wars unless the top guys start those wars. I've got 500,000 power, as you can look in the top left. The top guys have got over 1 million. There's other people with much more than that, I'm pretty sure. So you need to be very careful and selective about who you fight. And talking about fight, I cannot do a video without kicking somebody ass. Right? I'm actually going to do 2 things. I'm going to try and attack this barbarian fort. Remember I was talking about the castle and getting the army big enough to defeat an opponent? I'm going to try that now. When the commander gets to level 20, you can actually command two commanders go forward instead of just 1. I want to do 2 things, so I'm actually going to weaken this for the greater good. Let's go with nice one. Right, so I'm going to send those off. And if I go back to my base just for a second, if I click on the castle, everybody else who's active now will spot that I've started this timer ticking, and if they wanted to join and defeat this level 1 barbarian fort, then they would send their armies to my castle, to my base basically, and then we all go off together. Right. The one thing I did want to show you though was some fights against barbarians. Oh, they're quite far away. In that case, I'm going to have to do another video on the attack mechanics because they are a little bit clunky. You have to literally click 4 times in order to battle one enemy, and they really need to speed that up. It's not a game killer, but it is one of those things that's a little bit kind of wooden, I think, about the game anyway. So that's it. I really enjoy the game. Just getting stuck in. I will be doing a playthrough from scratch video at some point, and I'll be talking about everything else in more depth. I'm still kind of getting my head around many aspects myself, but I think that's definitely enough to be getting on with. Just trying to think if I've missed anything. Oh, yeah, technology. Obviously, you want to keep the technology queues ticking over. The top left is resources. It's not as important as getting your weaponry and your soldiers advancing, so I would definitely recommend you start off with the soldiers. Yeah, and just keep those queues ticking over. I think I talked about VIP level. Then I get into level 6, so you get like unlock second building queue. That's definitely of importance. I'm going to leave it there. Alright, so please like, subscribe. Danny Steve, and I am out.